who is also a member of the civil society from Turkey. Anya, happy Sunday. I know Anya was on standby. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, JBs. Am I clear on? Am I on?
You're on.
Okay, happy Sunday and happy Sunday. Yeah, happy Sunday, JBs. And happy Sunday to the members of on the panel. So it is the past few days have been very very disturbing in terms of the announcements that we've seen from the Canadian government, from the Cameroon government, and from the Anglophone side. So it is my opinion that for the topic that is at hand today, who is afraid of peace talk? It seems to me that the Cameroon government is sort of, they are not quite straightforward in terms of being consistent in the agreements that they had with the Canadian government and the announcement that was made by the Ministry of Communication afterwards. It seems that there is either some kind of division within the government, because if it's the case that delegates of the government met with the Canadian embassy, with the Canadian government in Canada to discuss on the Anglophone crisis and on peace and all of that, and then later on the same government, it seems to me, the same government is refusing, that they didn't entrust any organization to carry out this. It therefore means maybe one faction of the government is saying is going ahead with the process, and a different faction is refusing that nothing happened. So that is the first. This is just speculation. We do not know what is really happening, but it seems that there might be that division, or it might be some sort of a symbolic gesture. It might just be the government playing to the gallery. Okay, this is also possible, because the government has this strategy where when there is some sort of external or internal pressure to do something that is really meaningful, that has substance, there seems to they always come up with some sort of a solution that muddies the waters. Okay, that is some sort of a decorative solution or a symbolic gesture, which is not very good. So it might be a deliberate gesture, a deliberate symbolic gesture where the government is deliberately playing to the gallery. Okay. Or the third one might be that maybe indeed the government agreed, because there were delegates in Canada. The government agreed and they signed, and somehow maybe the president was involved. Somehow there've been some forgetfulness. That is the extreme. I don't want to go straight to that, but that might be a possibility, because we saw a video. We saw a video of the president in the United States seems to be forgetting where he is. He's not quite sure where he is. He's asking questions. So we don't know. He might have agreed that Canada should take on board the process, and later on he might have forgotten. Okay. So these are the three sort of speculations that I think might be happening.
When you say forgetfulness, we're talking about the state here. When you say forgetfulness, what do you mean? And the separatists themselves, are they also not afraid of this talk? Because we have factions that say yes, another faction that say no, another faction that says it's a charade.
You're talking about the Ambazonia side, the Anglophone side?
Yeah, well, both. You say forgetfulness. How can the head of state forget such an important thing if you are saying that he may have forgotten? And also the Ambazonian side too. How are they too not afraid of the talk? Because we have a faction that says it's a charade, another one says yes, it's good talk, another one says it's sponsored by the Republic. All these heads and down.
From the government side, James, from the government side, it seems as if because here is what is happening. After the communique by the Minister of Communication came out, the secretary at the Canadian Foreign Affairs came out and said that he has been in discussions with the members of both parties, and the previous statement that they had issued still stands, which implies the Canadian government is communicating with the government of Cameroon, and they are agreeing in private, but they seem to be disagreeing in public. Now, this is something that might be possible. And also, the idea about forgetfulness that I mentioned was probably just related to the case of the president. It seems, if something like that might have happened, it is possible that the president might have forgotten that he entrusted the Canadian government to help mediate. This is not unlikely. Okay. On the Ambazonian side, it seems as though the issue that was brought up was the issue of the name. I think Ayabacho, the leader of the Ambazonian Governing Council, talked about the name, about Ambazonia being referred to as northwest and southwest of Cameroon. So that was one problem. The other issue was, there were factions that seemed to be pulling their legs, but I think the faction of the IG faction of Chris Ano later on joined the process, and I suppose other factions are joining in. So I think on the Ambazonian side, they are quite, in this case, there's a united front on the Ambazonian side, and there seems to be a divisive front on the side of the government of Cameroon. Okay. So that is what I see, and it therefore implies that there is the fear might be coming from the side of the government.
Okay.
Or it might be a deliberate play.
We'll be coming back to you. Okay. Thank you very much. We'll be coming back to you. Let's continue the conversation here in the studio. We have Mr. Kimbang Vitalis, who is a member of the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, a very objective man. Mr. Kimbang, you listened to the announcement of the Canadian